Fed chair yesterday said, we are not going into a recession. The economy looks good. You know what? He is right today. But tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, that might not be the case. Well, the Fed did it. Finally, after all this time. Have you ever been in trouble? All right, you know you did something wrong. Your parents know you did something wrong, but they're not punishing you. And during that whole time, you're worried, well, am I gonna get lickings? Am I gonna lose my allowance? You're not really productive because all you're thinking about is the punishment. That's kind of how it feels like waiting for the Fed to actually raise their Fed funds rate, which they finally did yesterday. The Fed came out and said, we are raising the Fed funds rate by 25 basis points, or a quarter of a point. It was expected, and you know what? That was probably the right thing. Good job, Fed. What's going on, and what is the impact? Well, first, let's look at economies. Our U.S. economy is going really well. You know, the stock market, we've had some turbulence, but why? It's the unknown, the fear of the unknown. Okay, stock market's still pretty good. Our unemployment rate is now at a low. We're back to, the lowest unemployment rate we've had since like 1970. So that's a good thing. But here's another thing. High inflation is bad, all right? Doesn't always lead to a recession. You know what else is a precursor to a recession? Unemployment. Super low unemployment, like the dip. The bottom of the unemployment. When we have low unemployment, nearly every time at that valley, we go into a recession. We're there. What is going on? Right, our U.S. economy is doing fine, but the rest of the world, not so much. Europe right now, Europe's in a stranglehold, all right? They're really fearful now because of what's going on in Russia, Ukraine is going to affect them, all right? Their fuel prices, ours are going up, but theirs, their natural gas, all their commodities, man, that's right in their backyard. That's their front yard. So they're really concerned. China, well, China's economy, all right, is not doing so hot either. All right, and they just shut down their Silicon Valley only for a week, but still, that's an impact. But that's 18 million Chinese people who are basically not working. All right, their Silicon Valley is shut down. So the rest of the world, our big trade partners in the world are not doing so hot right now. Luckily, we're still doing well, all right? Yeah, inflation's up, gas prices are up, but we're still filling up our tanks. We can't buy cars because we can't make them because of supply chain issues. Had that problem, are going to continue to have that problem. The Fed's taking action to get some control, all right? 1 month of raising the Fed funds rate isn't going to do it, but they're taking some action. They can't do everything at once. All right, that's too big a shock to the system. We shut the system down. Russia, Ukraine, that's a big one. We're not even talking about the human toll. All right, the loss of lives, which is it is. I can't even think of the right word for it, but it is. It's criminal. But the rise of price of commodities, oil prices, gas prices, trade. All right, Ukrainians do a lot of the shipping from China to the United States. They run a lot of a lot of the labor. Well, guess what? Let's talk about the dollars, all right? The dollar spend to the U.S. economy, all right? Guess what we just did? All right, we just authorized, we're giving, billions of dollars to Ukraine to help them defend against Russia, all right? Where's that money coming from, all right? We stopped doing our federal stimulus that we were doing, but now we're giving out this money, all right? And we have to. We don't have to, but it's the right thing to do, I think. So that's another drain and another reason why inflation is going to go up, all right? We also have expired fiscal stimulus, all right? All those checks that people were getting the last couple of years, they ain't getting them no more. The Fed is operating against this backdrop. Man, there's a lot of things that are pulling on the economy. They've got their job, the Fed's job is to have healthy employment and to keep inflation low, to keep the economy running, all right? Employment, solid. Inflation, no. So they've done the right thing. They didn't go too drastic. But here's where we impact the housing market. Typically, when the Fed funds rate goes up, interest rates, mortgage rates typically go down. But that's not happening right now because the Fed also said that they are going to reduce their balance sheet. Now, what is that? Well, they have $9 trillion invested in treasuries and mortgage-backed securities. Mortgage-backed securities are what mortgages go into. They're going to reduce that balance sheet. We don't know what that means. That is the unknown that is helping to cause interest rates to go up. Fed chair yesterday said, hey, we are not going into a recession. The economy looks good. You know what? He is right today. But tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, that might not be the case. And that's really all he can say. He did say that his crystal ball, he doesn't have one, all right? He's just reacting to what's in front of him, trying to stay ahead as much as he can, but it's pretty hard to keep up. So, where's the housing market in all this? Have I talked about housing? No, not really. Well, you know what? The housing market is turning its nose up to this right now. It's saying, you guys, go do your thing. We're still gonna rumble, and the housing market is rumbling along, all right? And why is that? There's two real big reasons. We got a long-term shortage of homes, all right? Inventory is low, all right? We're about 5.87 million homes short of where we need to be, all right? Demand is strong. For those millennial types, 26 to 35, they want to go buy homes. What do you do when you can't buy a home, when you can't find a home? You got the money, but you can't find a home? You rent. Well, guess what? Rent is going up too. Nationwide, month over month, year over year, the largest increase in 16 years. You're not getting any relief by renting, all right? And you talk to anybody who's coming out here to rent a home, they're all over the U.S. This isn't just Hawaii. Hawaii's kind of exponentially worse for renters. But it's pretty tough to rent a home, okay? If you rent a single family home or a condo, all right now, there's a good chance that your landlord is going to sell his home right from under your feet. Why? Because they're gonna make a lot of money. And when they look at it from the long-term perspective, it makes sense for them to sell. Those are my thoughts. Hopefully you got something out of this. Please do me a favor, like, subscribe, comment. I invite your feedback. You know, I may be wrong. This is my take on the facts that I receive, looking at the numbers, looking and talking to people day in and day out. And I love doing what I do. I love educating you. I like the feedback too. Let's talk story. All right, aloha.